Hi there, my name is Alex Ginadinik.
And I'm Crystal Sens.
And today we're going to do a yoga class. This is going to be the equivalent class that you would get in a gym. Any kind of a beginner yoga, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to show you the poses, and the course is going to last exactly about an hour. And what does that mean? It means you can do it right from your home. Every day you can have a yoga class. You don't have to pay for the gym. You can just do it at home. And every day when you want to do this yoga class, you can just follow the course exactly from start to the end. And as you get good, you won't need the course anymore. You can just do it on your own. So that's the course, and enjoy.
My name is Crystal Sens. I am an experienced, registered 500-hour yoga practitioner, and I've been doing it for about 10 years, on and off. You'll find with your journey in yoga, you come and go from it. It's something that is very personal. There is no wrong and there is no right to it. It's your practice. So you really just want to come into it feeling it, understanding it, being comfortable with it. So that's going to be the best place you can start with your practice.
And I'm Alex. I'm an absolute beginner, and if you're a beginner, you'll see me making some mistakes, and Crystal will correct me. And so like advanced practitioners, they don't probably make these mistakes, so I'll be the guinea pig I'll be like everything out of place, and hopefully my mistakes will kind of show you how not to do things.
Wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and make sure first you have all the proper equipment. Alex has his mat. I do recommend that you actually take your shoes off when you practice yoga. It helps with balance, it helps with grip. It's going to just kind of advance your practice a little bit faster as if you had socks on. A lot of people like to leave socks and it doesn't really add that texture that you need. We have blocks here as well, so the blocks are meant to assist you in any of these poses. We are going to do some poses with them, as my beginner Alex may or may not need them, but we're going to utilize them. And we're just going to go ahead and start from there. So anytime you start your practice, the first thing we are going to do is just sit on your mat, okay? You're going to come into a very comfortable, cross-legged, easy seated position. So this is called Sukhasana. You try to relax your hips best you can. Just kind of rock back and forth a little bit. So you're trying to ground yourself. Usually within your practice, the first thing I am going to ask you to do is close your eyes, but because you're going to need to see this, we're going to keep our eyes open today. So as you keep your eyes open, I'm going to have you place your palms directly on top of your knees. You're going to relax your entire body, and the reason why we're doing this, we're going to rebuild your foundation from the ground up. So as you relax your hips, I want you to gently roll your shoulder blades back. Rolling your shoulder blades back, you're going to softly draw your shoulders away from your ears. This is going to elongate the neck. It also starts to straighten the spine. And the first thing we're going to do is just a 30-second collective breathing practice. Just long, full, deep inhalations. Take that sense of the expansion through the rib cage. Good, and as you exhale, just relax the body. Once again, you're trying to connect with that feeling of just finding the muscles. And I say this because when you're in a class, this is sometimes the most difficult part of your practice, is really learning to breathe and being able to breathe through these practices. So as your palms are on top of your knees, we're just going to start to just caress the knees a little bit. You have so many small ligaments in your knees and your joints, and we hold so much tension in all of our joints. As you caress those knees, we're going to welcome our first twist. So we're going to come off to a little bit faster start than you normally would in a class, but you just follow the breathing rhythms. So the first position that we're going to go ahead and come into, this is Sukhasana. This is your comfortable cross-legged seated position. It's meant to start to open up your hip flexors a little bit and just increase your flexibility. So we're going to rock slightly side to side. The reason why we're doing this, we're also removing the abundance from our sit bones. You're really grounding your tailbone, okay? You have two little bones called your greater trochanters, and we're just going to plant those right into the ground just by rocking back and forth. We're also loosening up. We're going to relax our shoulders. We're going to place our palms open towards the ceiling. There you go. And your first mudra as well, with finger connections. Some teachers will do this in class, some won't. Like I said, it's personally up to you. It just helps kind of keep you connected. So we're going to connect our thumb and our pointer finger and start to slow that rocking once you feel a little bit more grounded. Another thing as well, when you start your yoga practice, your teacher will probably ask you to close your eyes. Obviously, for our own purposes, we're going to keep our eyes open so you can see us and we can see you. So as you do this, roll your shoulder blades back. Really just broaden the opening through your chest. And as you do this, you're going to feel that expansion through your chest and pectoral muscles. You're going to slightly bring your shoulders down away from your ears. You're going to elongate the back of your head, reaching the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Good, so a slightly stiff posture, if you will. And as you come into this, we're going to first focus on your breath. I want you to take a full, long inhalation, deep enough where it's almost like a balloon on the inside of your chest, taking the expansion. And then as Alex exhales, he's just going to once again release. Okay, continue this for me. So this breathing practice is called Samavriti breathing. Sama in Sanskrit, which is something your teacher will probably use during class. It's the Hindu languaging of yoga and your practice. So Sama means same, and Vritti means wave. This is you bringing the breath into a continuum. Keep breathing for me.
Should I breathe through my nose and breathe out through the mouth? Or?
You can actually inhale however you're comfortable. Once again, there's no set wrong or right through this. We're starting to increase the oxygen into your body, so that's mainly one of the reasons why you're doing this. Okay? As you increase that oxygen, it's going to help dissipate and relax, loosen up your muscles a little bit. So as Alex is doing his Samavriti breath, and he's just relaxing, his shoulders once again are still consciously drawn away from the ears. The hardest part in yoga is your breathing. Yoga is the combination of the mind and the body. Okay? To really master your yoga practice, you do have to learn how to breathe. Okay? Yoga is also meant to calm you down. It's meant to really get you grounded and get you centered. Your breath is a huge part of that. You can't do that unless you are able to breathe through these things.
This really is relaxing. I'm like, this is sitting here just for a little bit. I'm already like so actually feeling really nice and relaxed.
Are you bringing it down a little bit? Good. Good. And also think your eyes are closed. Humor is a really good aspect to bring into it as well. When you first come into your yoga class, some things are funny because they're new, and it takes a while to really just slow down and connect. Allow yourself to feel what your body's telling you. As you're sitting here, are your hips tight? Are your shoulders tight? Are you struggling with breath? Are you short of breath? These are just conscious things for you to personally realize and recognize about yourself. This is a journey for you to develop your own practice. So this is the beginning of a class, okay? It always starts with breath work. It starts with letting go of the rest of your day and really focusing on yourself. When you're on your mat, this is your magic carpet ride. I always tell my classes that. This is your time to be on your mat, to focus on your body and whatever intention you intend on setting for your practice. Okay? Maybe it's about moving faster, maybe it's about sweating for you, maybe it's about slowing down, whatever it is, it's about you, and that's the end of the story. So we're going to gently just place our palms onto the knees, and I'm going to have Alex take his right palm, we're going to place it onto his left knee. A big open windmill back with that left hand, we're going to connect it to the floor. Good. So we're going to use that back hand as almost like a kickstand, and we're going to use it to straighten his back. He's going to slowly slide that palm closer to his glute muscle and just press through the palm. That elongates the back. That's going to engage your twist. So having your palm on your knee just basically binds you into this pose. We're going to start with your optical gaze, and I'm just going to have you look over that left shoulder. There you go, Alex. So start your breath. And every time you exhale, I want you to really focus on the diaphragm. I want you to focus on allowing yourself to really move all of your internal organs. This is a huge part to aid in digestion. It's also a good release of any toxins that you're building up in your liver, you're building up through your kidneys. You want to take about 5 to 6 deep breaths. Once again, it's a personal choice. When it feels like it's enough for you, we're going to go ahead and come out. And all we're going to do though is now open up the chest and pectorals. So I want you to take that left palm, drop behind your body, and we're going to roll those shoulder blades back and together. Good. And as you roll your shoulder blades back and together, gentle bend through your elbows in the back. Focus there. Gaze up to the ceiling. Now I want you to work your breath from the inside out. Once again, think about that balloon. Open up your chest, long, huge stretch. And every time you exhale, just release, just let go. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. One more. I can hear Alex breathing, so that's how I'm timing this. Good. As you come out of this, we're going to lower our gaze, relax your neck and shoulders. We're going to keep the right palm planted. Now we're going to take the left palm on top of the right knee. Inhale, breath, lengthen your chest to the ceiling. Slide that back right palm near your glute muscles, and on your exhale, start that twist again. Good. So as you're in this position, once again, the main focus points that I'm looking at with Alex, he's relaxing his shoulders. There you go, good. And he's really engaging that exhalation. You're gonna have a tense and relax. There you go. Just keep twisting. Good. That's about the maximum of his twist, which is fine. Like I said, there's no point you're striving to get to. One of my best practitioners always told me in yoga, and this is something I live by, you're not stretching in this until you feel it. You're just gently engaging in it.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to even go this far.
Yoga's hard. I applaud you for even attempting to try this. But the good thing is it does get easier, you know, and with hard work comes a reward with the practice.
I'm a beginner, don't laugh at me.
So we're gonna go ahead and come out. Like I said, our main focus today, I really do just wanna work with some twist. So from this positioning, we're gonna rock forward. We're gonna come into a tabletop position. So tabletops means you have basically wrist, elbow, shoulder alignment. That is one of the most important things I can possibly tell you. We're gonna spread all 10 fingers nice and wide, really engage that sense of grip. Our knees are shoulder width distance apart. Good, and I want you can't see Alex's toes, but I want them untucked. You're gonna relax the feet onto the floor. We're gonna start with some gentle shoulder openers. So as we do this, we're gonna take the right palm to the center of your mat. Good, and we're gonna just inhale breath. And now, so I'm not moving my entire body, I'm really just reaching that arm up. So the alignment I have now is wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Good, and I want you to engage your gaze, Alex, up to the top of your left thumb. Go. Once again, take 3 or 4 deep breaths. So we're going to start the momentum of this practice. We're going to take that left hand, we're going to flow it underneath the body, and I'm going to have you reach off to the right side. Good. 3 or 4 times. Inhale, breath as you rise. And exhale, breath. Good. You see that pause you just made? Follow your breath. Doesn't matter what your neighbor's doing, doesn't matter what the teacher's doing, it matters what your breath is doing. This is how you personalize your practice, this is how you maximize and get the best out of it. A nice big deep inhale, breath, reach, get that energy and that extension. Exhale, breath, release underneath the body. And the next time we reach underneath, we're actually going to plant our shoulder down there. As you plant that shoulder, we're going to start to once again just press your hips down to your heels slightly. We're going to take your right palm and I'm going to have you reach back. You're going to place it just onto your tailbone, your sacrum. Start to square off the shoulders, just facing down to the ground. Good. So normally, stay in this pose for me. Normally you would go ahead and hold this pose for, 5 or 6 breaths, 8 breaths, until you start to feel a release through the back of that left shoulder. Okay? We're going to gently go ahead and we're going to bring Alex's palm to his shoulder blade. Okay? And once again, he's really just focusing on his breath. His breath is expanding and stretching through the shoulder. You don't have to move your body, you just have to move your breath. Perfect. Now, as we start to come out of this position, I'm going to have Alex press into his shins, and we're just going to rise up nice and slow. Good, you're not going to unthread the arms quite yet. And right about now, just unthread them from the body. We're going to reach those fingertips down to the floor. So this is called a stump pose. From the stump pose, we're going to take a deep, long inhale breath, reach the palms up to the ceiling. And exhale, breath, flush them down to the floor. This slow, controlled movement, once again, gives you an opportunity to match the movement with the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, breath, good, there you go. It's all you. You're going to move at a different pace than I'm going to move, just like you're going to move at a different pace than your neighbor, your teacher, anybody else that you might be doing this class with. And inhale, breath up. And exhale breath, we're going to release back into that tabletop position. Okay, place the left palm to the center of the mat. Inhale breath, right arm opens up and rises. You'll feel a slight stretch through the back of your lumbar spine. Nice deep strong inhale breath through the opening. Exhale breath, release the palm underneath the body. Slight bend through the elbow. Good, just like you're reaching for something off to that left side. Good. Inhale breath, lifting. Good, yep, come with me. Good, inhale breath up. Good, exhale down. I'm going to have Alex continue with this movement so you can watch him. And one thing I do want to point out, the head motion, and I see it all the time as a teacher. You want to look around. You want to make sure you're doing the right thing. Don't do that. Do what feels right to you. You don't want to gaze at other people. You don't want to strain or stress your neck. You really just want to keep it in a relaxed, neutral position. Good, nice deep inhale, breath up. And the next time you come underneath again, I'm going to have you land your shoulder blade. Good, just kind of rest it. Drop your glute muscles towards your heels a little bit. Keep those toes untucked. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and just take the top left palm and we're going to place it onto your shoulder blade. Good. Almost like you're giving yourself just a generous hug. Good. 3 or 4 deep breaths. So you're going to continue to breathe. We're going to move this along a little bit faster so that way you can take full advantage of more poses. So once again, we're going to go ahead and just bring your palms in, press through those shins, rise up. Very good. On thread. And this is starting to warm up the body. Inhale, breath again. The exhale, breath, release. You're finding range of motion through your rotator cuff. Your rotator cuff, excuse me, is what we're plugging the arm into the shoulder. This allows that rotational pause. Good, exhale breath. We're going to draw the palms behind the body now. I'm going to have you interlace your fingers, and we're going to reach those interlaced fingers down towards your heels. Roll your shoulder blades back and open once again, focusing on the chest and pectorals. Gentle gaze to the ceiling. Good, and on a very slow exhale breath, we're going to drop the glute muscles down to the heels. There you go. And we're going to take a forward fold through the chest. Slowly bring the knuckles back to the glute muscles, press through the shins, and softly rise up. Okay? I want you to repeat that a couple more times. I'm going to watch you do it, make any adjustments on you. So exhale breath, heels down. Good, and you can rest your forehead onto your mat. Once again, this is your magic carpet ride, nobody else's. So your mat is your mat is your germs, your mat is your sweat, it's your mat. Exhale breath down. Softly see if you can engage the interlaced fingers off the glute muscles. There you go. And that's the purpose of resting the head. Take a deep inhale breath here. Exhale breath, release those back down. Once again, you don't want to strain it. Inhale breath, rising up. Strengthening your quads. Good. And again, exhale breath, release one more time. Good. Follow your breath. That's your rhythm. Remove those palms. One more time. I'm going to have you do it again. Good. Relax your body. Don't think about it too much. Don't think. Come down. Feel it. Once again, you're going to develop your own rhythm. And he's just going to take himself to that full extension. Exhale and release. Inhale, rise. Perfect. Good. So we're going to move on to the next pose. So when you're in a class, you're going to flow through these transitions. And this video is really just to make you more comfortable with the specific poses. The transition will come over time. The more you practice, it's like riding a bike, you're just going to come into the next thing. So the next segment that we're going to do, we're going to come into our first balancing hold practice. So if your hands are here, we're going to release them. We're going to come back to our tabletop position. Once again, wrist, elbows, shoulders, knees are hip width distance apart. And from here, we're going to extend back with our right leg. And I want it directly back. Your gaze is going to be in between your palms. Once again, you never want to lift your neck or head. This is another reason why you don't want to look around and see what everybody else is doing. The top of your vertebra, C7, excuse me. if you apply your head up, you're going to start to build high blood pressure. So that's the reasoning and science behind keeping your head directly face down to the ground. As we do this, we're going to engage the left palm, reaching forward. And I'm going to challenge Alex a little bit. I'm going to ask Alex to close his eyes in this pose. So this is one of the best balancing practices where you can really realize if you removed one of your five senses and you had to feel your balance, would you be able to? It's a lot more challenging. Good. On an exhale breath, I want you to release both your palm and your knee back down to the ground. Good. And we're going to take an inhale breath with the opposite side. Extend the leg first, so left leg back. Keep your hips squared off to the ground. This is going to start to once again help strengthen your lower back. Think about your belly button reaching towards the back of your spine. And take an inhale breath with the right palm, and we're going to reach the right palm forward. Anytime you elongate, anytime you reach or lengthen, you're taking a deep, long, full inhalation. Good, let's go ahead and close the eye. And I'm going to make a soft adjustment for you. So I can tell right away as a practitioner, Alex's hamstrings are tight. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to straighten out that leg. We're going to square off his hips. And we're going to give him a little bit more energy and a little more strength into this top hand. Alright, so the main focus of balance is coming from his obliques right now. It's coming from his transverse abdominals, and he's really strengthening those, not only because he's lifted and using his body weight, he's opening his chest, he's inhaling, he's taking that sense of expansion, and he's moving from the inside out. Very good, Alex. Exhale breath. Go ahead and release yourself down. Good. So, from this pose, you would transition now to the next pose, which is going to be called cat-cow. Okay? I'm sure everybody's heard of cat-cow. There's a very easy way to do it. There's also a very wrong way to do it because it does apply a lot of pressure onto your back. We're going to root through all 10 fingers, and once again, you want to press through the balls of your hands. So as you do this, you're going to arch your upper thoracic spine. You're going to take your gaze towards your knees and just arch like a Halloween cat. This is your inhale breath. You're filling, you're pressing the floor away. On your exhale breath, you're going to slowly just let your tailbone kind of ripple. We're going to take our gaze forward and we're going to draw the shoulders away from the ears. Once again, 3 or 4 times, repeat this deep inhale breath, rising up. As if your belly button is pulling through. Exhale breath, gaze forward, 3 or 4 more times. Exhale breath. Inhale breath, rise. Exhale to a neutral tabletop spine. Perfect. Once again, Alex's rhythm of breath is completely different from my rhythm of breath. He's going to move faster than I am. This is why it's important not to compete, not to keep up, just move at your own pace. Now, we're going to tuck the toes. Okay? So as he tucks his toes, I'm going to have him draw his heels towards the back of the room. We're stretching the underbelly of the feet. Okay? The reason why we do this, you have 2 flexors on the bottom of your feet. That's a very long tendon that runs from your heels and fans out to all of your toes. This is what helps you if you've ever had plantar fasciitis or ever had a heel spur, any pain like that. This is a very, very important stretch. It also gives you mobility through your toes. So you just want to kind of lean your body weight back, just kind of allow that grip to start to engage to the mat and to the floor. Then we're going to keep all 10 fingers spread. And now the next transition to the pose is going to be downward facing dog. Very classic pose, everybody does it. Adho Mukha Svanasana is the Sanskrit name for it. So we're going to tuck the toes. We're going to start to grip all 10 fingers. So the main thing, your middle fingers are going to be parallel to each other. Very good. Your wrist creases are parallel to the top of your mat as you do this. So as you tuck your toes, start to levitate your knees a little bit. Now continue to lift those hips all the way up to the ceiling. I'm going to keep Alex in this pose and I'm going to walk you guys through it. One thing we're going to do, and it's not important to have your heels connected down to the floor, okay? That's a flexibility thing, it will come. Slightly important though, however, to lock the knees and just extend the back of the knees up towards the ceiling. We're going to relax the neck and shoulders. Relax the neck and shoulders. Alex is putting a lot of pressure into his fingertips, so we're going to quit that, and we're going to put his pressure into his palms. Good. And I want you to look back to your toes, Alex. Now, one thing we're going to do is we're going to elongate the hips. I'm going to draw him back and open. Okay, and he's going to do the best he can to exhale through his chest. Now on his inhale, the next move from downward facing dog is we're gonna come into a full plank position on your inhale. You ready? I know you're ready. Come forward into a plank position, okay? Once again, wrist, elbow, shoulders, solid straight plank. Your heels are drawn towards the back of the room, so you're getting a deep, long stretch through the calves. Your tailbone is reaching towards those heels. Good, shaking a little, so we're gonna come through our first Chaturanga Dandasana. This is a high to low push-up. Take an exhale breath for me. Come all the way down, as slow as you can. Control it. Right about the time that you rest the abdominals onto the ground, untuck your toes. Very good. And we're gonna take those hands, we're gonna bring them out just one full handprint. Good, and we're gonna come into Bhujangasana, which is Cobra, okay? The big thing about Cobra, it takes a while to warm up, and you're not going to notice till the middle of your practice that you're really into a full engaged Cobra. So the only thing we're going to do is we're going to work our inhale breath. We're going to inhale and just take your gaze about 3 feet in front of your mat. That's it. That's your first Cobra, okay? Over time, the more you practice, you'll have the flexibility to reach right into that full King Cobra. First couple things, I don't recommend it right off the bat. Good, now from here, we're gonna press through the palms. We're gonna engage the knees and we're gonna bring our hips back to our heels coming into our first child's pose. There you go. Take a deep, long exhale breath. Open up all 10 fingers, really reach to the top of your mat. This is once again one of the reasons why you wanna practice on a mat. You can engage that grip, you can really lengthen the hips as far back as you can possibly go. You're relaxing through your neck and shoulders. Good. Now from child's pose, I'm gonna have you tuck your toes again. You're already tucking them, good. That's a habit you gotta break. As your toes are tucked, slide the palms back towards your chest. Good, levitate your knees and I want you to pop right back into downward facing dog. There you go. Good. Take a deep exhale breath in your down dog. Remember, exhale breath. On his inhale breath, he's going to bring himself forward into plank. So his hands are a little far back. There you go, just walk them up. Good. Plank position. Relax your neck and shoulders. Heel back, tailbone to your heels. Exhale breath, slowly let yourself down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Good, nice. Release. Extend your palms out to the left and right. And inhale breath, baby cobra. Good. Inhale breath, come on up. Yeah, there you go. You're just pressing your pelvic bones in. Exhale breath, release. Inhale breath and exhale breath. Inhale pushes away. Exhale draws the heels to the glute muscles. And let's go through this one more time and I'm just going to talk you through it. This is your first flow. This is the beginning of your real flow, getting your heart rate moving through your practice. Child's pose. Ground your elbows, draw the body forward, tuck the toes, levitate the knees, lift the hips. Now we're picking it up a little bit. Downward facing dog, lift those hips, gaze back to the feet. So I'm gonna have Alex do something called paddling out his heels. He's just once again gonna kind of sway the body left to right. He's gonna paddle his heels down to the floor. Remember to breathe. I should hear your breath.
Yeah, my bad.
Good, you forget to breathe, we all do. And again, inhale breath, press forward into a plank position. Exhale breath, Chaturanga. Keep your elbows to your rib cage. Chaturanga Dandasana. Relax the body, untuck the toes. Bring the hands one full handprint up, somewhere around your chest and breastplate. Inhale, breath, rise. Exhale, breath, release. Press into the palms, inhale the floor away, exhale hips to your heels. Draw the body forward, ground your elbows, use the traction of your mat. And we're going to start to transition into our first standing pose. You ready? Tuck your toes, levitate the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Good. We're going to bring your toes into touch. And we're going to take a deep, long inhale breath. Alex, I want you to lift your left leg all the way up to the ceiling. Not bad. Exhale, breath, step through, foot right in between your palms. I see this all the time. If it doesn't get there, wiggle it up there. Help it. Doesn't matter. Very good. Okay. So we're going to focus on two things right now. The one thing is that the knee should be directly over the ankle. Okay? The opposite thing is that his back right leg should be kind of locked and straight. You want to send the back of the knee up to the ceiling. We also have blocks. So if you're having any difficulty or it's slightly uncomfortable, we're going to use our block for our first thing. Basically, you can just take that block and you can kind of elevate. Use it as an extension of your arm. By no means do the blocks mean that you're not good enough or you can't get there. It's an Iyengar style based assistance to your practice. Okay. So once we're in this lunge position, we're just going to step up with the opposite right foot. Exhale, breath. That's our first forward fold. Relax your neck. So as you're in your first forward fold, I want you to shake it out. Have some fun. Shake your head. Yes, no, left, right. Start to rock a little bit into your toes, a little bit into your heels. There you go. Good. You can use your block. Once again, use those blocks. Make it easy on yourself.
I'm glad you're using the blocks now because I
Use the
thought you were
blocks.
for hitting bad students. Now I see how to use it.
Good. And you can use them, remember, different elevations too. If this is too low, if this is here, change it. Use these blocks. Good. Rock your feet back and forth. You're really just once again grounding. You're stretching the back of your calves. Good. Now we're going to place our hands onto our hips, one vertebra at a time, which is virtually impossible. Your teacher will say that. I've trained a medical doctor before. You can't roll up one vertebra at a time. But that's what they're going to say. So you're going to roll up nice and slow. Remember, inhale, breath. Perfect. Release the palms. And again, just as the same as we did from our stump pose, we're going to welcome our mountain pose. Okay? Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. And challenge yourself. Move with your breath. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. Inhale, breath. On the next exhale breath, we're going to interlace our fingers back behind our tailbone and our glute muscles. As we do this, I'm going to turn to the side for you. We're going to lengthen the knuckles down towards your heels. Take a very slight bend through the knees. Okay? So I don't want you to keep your knees. That's going to be something you see. You always want to keep your knees separate. Okay? So you have the integrity of the legs. And we're going to take a forward fold. You're going to bring your chest to your thighs. And you're going to naturally just let the arms come up and over the head. Before you come out, draw the palms back to the glute muscles. Release your fingers and just push yourself up to standing. Nice big deep inhale breath. Good. Arms out long to the left and right. Good. And just bring them down by the sides of your hands. Good. Exhale breath, full forward fold. And we're going to transition back into downward facing dog. So this is a different way of coming into it. Okay? All we're going to do is step back, downward facing dog. And what we do on the left, we must do on the right. So exhale, breath, toes into touch. Inhale, breath, right leg rises. Exhale, breath, stepping through in between your palms. Perfect. Good. You don't have to hang here long, but you notice Alex has his knee forward of his toes. You want to back it out a little bit. See how close that, yeah, there you go. That's the start. Roll your shoulder blades back, relax, take a few breaths. Good. Take a big step up with the left foot. Inhale, breath, rolling up. Palms up to the ceiling. Remember, inhale as you elongate. Exhale as you descend. Palms behind your back. Interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles to your heels, focus on opening up the chest and pectorals. Exactly. So you can be shoulder width distance, you can be here. No rules there. Once again, roll the shoulder blades back, exhale breath, bend through the knees, and softly begin your forward fold. Very good. Draw the knuckles back to the glute muscles. release the fingers and take a big inhale breath and just rise up again. Hands out, reverse swan dive, right down to the floor. And I'm going to have you step back again into downward facing dog. Perfect. So we're going to put all of that together. We're going to lower your knees, untuck your toes, exhale breath, heels to glute muscles coming back into child's pose. Child's pose is your resting point. So as Alex rests, as he breathes in child's pose, we're going to talk about why you do child's pose. When you feel your heart rate pick up, when you feel like you need a little bit of a break, you come into child's pose. You stay in child's pose as long as you want to stay in child's pose. It is a rest, recovery pose for you.
It's really nice actually. Like, I think I feel so lazy and I just want to stay here for a while.
And you might. I've taught classes before where I've had students stay there for almost 30 minutes. If you come into child's pose and you need to stay there for 30 minutes, there's a reason why. And usually I always just let them stay in child's pose. When you're taking a class, you work the poses that work for you. If something's not working for you, you come into child's pose. When you're ready to rejoin a class, you then rejoin the class. An experienced teacher is never going to stop you because yoga is a personal practice, and that's one beautiful thing about being able to do this at home for you, is you're able to take advantage of this. You know, think about your alignment, really connect to your breath, work what you're feeling. Some days you'll want to push harder than others, some days you won't. So from child's pose, we're going to put everything together. We're going to once again draw the body forward, tuck the toes, come into downward facing dog. We're going to move a little faster through it. Good. Downward facing dog comes into a straight plank position. Plank comes through, Chaturanga Dandasana. Elbows to ribcage, nice and slow, lowering down. Connect the chest, untuck the toes. Inhale breath, rising into Bhujangasana Cobra. Deep inhale breath. Exhale breath, release. Inhale the floor away. Exhale hips to heels, once again child's pose. Ground your elbows, tuck the toes, levitate the knees, draw the body back to downward facing dog. Bring the toes into touch. Inhale breath, left leg rises. Exhale breath, left leg steps through lunge position. Good. You ready to add a twist to your lunge? Good. So we're going to press our weight into that right palm, or you can take your block to the big toe side of your foot. Take an inhale breath, and we're going to gently open that left arm towards the ceiling. Good, very good. So you notice again, Alex did great. Wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Long alignment. Good. Take some deep breaths for me. You're in a twist. Focus on those exhales. Every time Alex exhales, he's going to come a little bit deeper. One of the main things I see right now, you want to create a little bit of space. I'm going to have him heel toe that foot over. That takes the pressure away from the outside of your knee. You want to swing that? Yeah, there you go. Good.
It's hard.
It is hard. Focus on squaring your hips off. Good. Back of the knee lifts to the ceiling. And before, we're going to take Alex out of it. You don't want to stay in too long. Good. So from that position, when you release, I know what you're feeling, we're going to bring both palms to the big toe side of the foot. You may or may not need the blocks. We're going to take them away for a second. We are going to lower down the back right knee above the kneecap. You never want to be directly on your kneecap. Untuck the toe. And we're going to take a little exhale breath. Now, we're working the groin, we're working the hip flexor. For most guys, this is going to be a very tight area for you. And what I recommend, continue to heel toe that foot open. Create space for your body. Okay? I love the blocks because this is going to give me an easy place to rest. Yeah. So anytime you do come into a hip opening pose, the most important thing you can do is give yourself time to relax and to release. Okay? If I was traditionally teaching a class, I'd give you about a minute to hold in this pose. So
You were going to say I'd give you an F.
give you no. You're doing great so far, you really are. And you're smiling too, which is half the battle. All you gotta do is smile. So let's say that's 20 seconds. Let's say it's 40 seconds and 60 seconds. Now what we're gonna do is slowly come out. We're gonna connect the palms back to the floor. We're gonna tuck the back right toe, levitate the knee, sweep that left foot back to plank. Good. So So I want you back onto your mat. Let me take that block away. Guess what we're going to do? Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. Alright, let's do it together. Exhale, breath. Inhale, breath through Cobra. Exhale, breath, release. Remember, only hold these as long as your breath allows. Child's pose. Inhale the floor away. Exhale your hips to your heels. Ground your elbows, draw the body forward. Tuck the toes. Good. In downward facing dog, draw the body up. Levitate the knees, lift the hips, look back to your toes. Exhale through the chest. Toes to touch. Left leg rises. Exhale, breath, stepping through, lunge position. You ready for the twist on the other side? You got this. Press into your left palm, okay? Slowly start to once again open up through that right side, reach up to the ceiling. Your gaze is at your thumb, and we're just gonna breathe for a moment. I want you to focus on the back left knee. Make sure you're locked, that knee is drawn up to the ceiling. You're leaning, you're deepening your lunge, you're extending. Exhale, breath, release. Bring that right palm to the big toe side of the right foot. Heel to your foot open, you got this, create some space. Good, so you're gonna use your block, I am not. I'm gonna lower down my left knee. I'm gonna gently untuck the left toe, and I'm gonna come down onto my forearms. And once again, it's personal preference. I'm gonna relax the right leg. I'm just gonna kind of let it come open, okay? We're gonna hold for 20 seconds. We're gonna hold for 40 seconds. We've held for 60 seconds, which is about appropriate to give yourself time to relax and release. Place the palms back into the floor. Tuck the back left toe. Levitate the knee. Sweep that right foot back to the left. Do you know what's next? Chaturanga. High to low push-up. Chaturanga Dandasana. Untuck the toes. Inhale, breath, Bhujangasana Cobra. Are you inhaling? Inhale, breath as you rise. Exhale as you descend. Now, one thing I caught on you, draw your ears away from your shoulders. Relax. Relax your body. Don't overthink it.
Because my hands is hard.
You're not used to it, huh?
Yeah.
Yoga develops an incredible amount of wrist strength and also forearm strength, which is a big thing with most any weight training, anything you do. It's one of the biggest complaints I get. My wrists hurt. With yoga, it truly helps you strengthen. Exhale, breath, release. And remember, when you know you need to come out, you come out of a pose. Child's pose, inhale the floor away, exhale, hips to your heels. Very good, so we're gonna add another twist to this. Like I said, it's just a gentle, easy flow. Alex, I'm gonna have you take your right palm, and I want you to reach it as far to the center of your mat as you can. Very good. Left hand is going to flow back behind the body onto your tailbone or your sacrum. Good. And all I want you to do is focus on drawing your tailbone back. We're stretching through your lat muscles, the underbelly of your armpits. Good. So your head is turned. We're going to correct your head. I want you to look right down to the ground. Good. And from here, I just want you to breathe. So you're going to struggle, stay in that pose for me. You're going to struggle in some of these poses more than others with your breath, okay? Alex is applying pressure on his chest from the tops of his thighs, so it's going to be more difficult for him to breathe in this pose than others. And again, he's going to hold for about 15 to 20 seconds or until he feels like coming out. And we're going to pull through that right palm and we're going to drive ourselves back into a tabletop position. Left hand removes from the tailbone, places onto the floor. Right palm behind the body. Take a deep exhale breath. Good, draw it down. Continue to reach forward to the top of your mat as much as you can with that left palm. And again, inhale breath, pulling through the left palm, driving the body back to a plank position. Tabletop, come thread the palms, tuck your toes, levitate those knees, downward facing dog. Toes to touch, inhale breath, left leg rises. Exhale breath, left foot steps through lunge position. Good go. And if it's not there, wiggle it up there. Good. So we're really going to work your balance today, okay? 2 different foot positions that you can come into. Some teachers will tell you to turn the back foot to a 45-degree angle. I personally don't like to do that. I don't like to apply the pressure to my knee. I keep both feet parallel to the front of my mat. I'm going to start to press into the big toe side of my foot. We're going to take an inhale breath, and we're just going to rise up into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Relax your neck and shoulders. And your shoulders should be open enough at this point that we're going to softly, or let them flow behind the body, interlace the fingers, and slide those fingers down the back of that right hamstring. Open up the neck and shoulders and chest and pectorals. Exhale breath. Windmill both palms down to the ground. And then once again, we're going to step up with the right foot to meet the left. Exhale into your forward fold. Slight bend through the knees. Inhale, breath, rise up. And we're going to take those palms either to the sky. Inhale, breath. Exhale, float them behind your lower back, your lower lumbar spine. And give yourself a little morning back bend. Loosen up, relax your body. Gentle little morning back bend. Are you getting tired now?
Yeah.
Yoga's challenging. It really is.
I'm all sweaty.
You should, done properly, you can break a really good sweat with yoga. But the nice thing is what you're undoing in your body that you've been doing throughout your day is really incredible. Okay, the toxins you're releasing, these deep twists, they release toxins in your body. Hands behind your lower back. Just give yourself a very supported, very gentle little morning back bend. Good, again, exhale, breath, release. So what we just did on the left side, we're about to do on your right side. Palms down, stepping back. We're gonna come into it a little easier this way. Okay, once again, there's no wrong or right. We're going to take our left foot and we're going to step it back into that lunge position. Okay? Same exact pose, same way, we're just coming into it a different way. Inhale, breath, palms up, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Relax your neck and shoulders. Exhale, breath, palms behind the back. Try to deepen your lunge. Slide those palms down the back of your spine. You keep going, I'm going to correct you. Relax your neck and shoulders. Gaze forward. Proud warrior always gazes forward. Relax your palms. Just about enough time. Windshield wiper those palms down to the ground again. Very, very good. Okay, and from here, step up with the left to meet the right. Inhale, breath, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Palms up to the ceiling. And exhale, breath. Release the palms down by your thighs. Okay, so we're going to bring it down a little bit. I'm sure your heart rate is slightly racing, okay? This is always a really interesting pose for me because we're going to calm your heart rate and you're going to be able to feel it.
Okay.
Mountain pose. Easy. Stand up straight for me. Good. You feel straight? Okay, let's rebuild that. All right. I want you to ground both feet, shoulder width distance apart. Place your fingertips just by the seams of your pants or the sides of your thighs. Roll your shoulder blades back for me. So I like to always just say, it's like I'm sitting on a bar stool. We're going to take a very gentle bend through the knees, okay? Your tailbone connects. This is a very small pelvic tilt that you're about to do, okay? Not quite that much of a bend, okay? And now from here, we're going to draw your chin parallel to the ground, fingertips reach down. Last little pushes through your heels to straighten the legs. Keep that pelvic tuck, that consciousness of pulling in the lower lumbar spine. Good. And now from here, you're standing up perfectly straight now. Yeah, that's mountain pose. That is a kinetic chain through your spine, your heels, your hamstrings, all the way up, chin parallel to the ground. Good. Okay. It takes a lot of thought, right? It's not our natural standing posture that we do every single day. So there is a conscious effort that has to be engaged to learning how to stand up perfectly straight. We're going to do one standing balancing pose, and then we're going to come into our floor practice and start to actually cool ourselves down. So from here in your mountain pose, once again, a couple times, I want you to close your eyes. Now we are going to close our eyes. You can close your eyes at home. All we're going to do is inhale, breath, rise those palms up. Exhale, breath, bring them down. Good, 2 more times. Follow your own rhythm. And if you're noticing at home, I'm not going to open my eyes. Alex and I are probably moving at different paces. Or we're synchronized. I'm not sure because my eyes are closed, but we're going to continue to keep going. We're really connecting to what our breath is doing. Inhale as you rise. Exhale as you descend. Very good. And right about the time your palms meet the sides of your thighs, we're going to open our eyes back up. Good. And we're going to separate our feet, shoulder width distance, a little wider to the corners of the mat. We're going to slide our right palm, transitioning into the next pose, down the side of your IT band, your right palm, and we're going to let that left hand come over. This is a lateral opening stretch. Take a deep inhale breath here. Once again, think about that balloon. You're filling this side of your body with breath. Good, and on your exhale, we're going to slowly just transition to the opposite side. Left hand slides down. Right palm glides over. Take a deep, long inhale breath. And right about the time you're ready to come out of it, we're going to softly just come back to center. Okay? You can do this 2 or 3 times. You can do it 10 or 12 times, whatever you really feel like doing. Heel toe the feet back together. Good. You ready for that balance pose? Okay. 2 things I have to tell you about balancing. It's going to make your heart really race. Okay? Your body produces a lot of adrenaline. Your adrenal glands, it's that fight or flight reflex. Your body has no idea why it's floating. It has no idea why it's struggling. So you can start to sweat a little faster. You can really bring your heart rate up. Just be cautious of it, okay? We're going to come into Virabhadrasana 3, which is a warrior 3 position. It's a single leg standing forward fold, okay? So we're going to ground our left foot, press into the big toe side of your foot. Very slight bend through the knee. We're going to first take your hands to your hips, okay? I'm going to have you find a focal point on the ground. Your focal point, your instructor may describe this as called a dristi, okay? Your dristi is a focal point that you can see, okay? It helps increase your internal focus more than your external sight, okay? Your internal focus is what's really going to drive you into this pose. It's what's going to hold you. It's what's going to lengthen and elongate you in this pose. So very softly, start to take that right leg and we're going to extend it towards the back of the room. Keeping your hips squared off to the ground, continuing to stay and find your focal point. And if you come out, it may take a couple seconds, really come into it. When you feel comfortable here, we're going to extend the arms long to the left and right side of the room. Once you feel comfortable here, inhale breath, really lengthen and open. And if you fall out or you come out, go ahead and do it again. You know when you're done, and you gently begin to step out. Very good. Feel your heart rate go up a little bit. A little sweat happens. Yeah. Once again, it's just your body's way of protecting itself. Okay, so that's a natural reaction. What I did on my left, you're going to do on your right. I'm going to check you out. Okay? So once again, go ahead.
You do better than I.
Yeah, let's face our friends here. Go ahead. We're going to ground that right foot. I want you to press into the big toe side of your right foot. Perfect. Good. Hands to your hips first. Slow it down. Take an exhale breath. Let it go. You can't balance when you hold your breath. Very gently, at the same time you start to take that left foot back, I want you to fold your body. Big toe side of your foot, focal point. I'm checking to make sure Alex's hips are squared off to the ground, that he's not turning up, seeking that balance and that foundation. His back leg is elongated, he's working those hamstrings, shoulder blades are rolled back. Good, I want you to softly extend your arms like an airplane, so take them long to the left and right side. If this is good for you, if you feel like you want to go further, you know how we drew our hands back and we interlaced them behind our back? Good. And that's going to happen too. So once again, I'm just going to demonstrate the full extension of that pose when you're coming into it. So from here, hands to your hips, take that generous forward fold. When you feel balanced there, extend, nice and flat. I'm going to draw those palms behind my body. I'm going to interlace the fingers, and I'm just going to reach for the back of the room. You are rock solid in this pose. When you've had enough, gently step out. Okay? The hard part of yoga is coming out of these poses the exact same way you come into them. Okay? That's what builds strength. That's what builds the dedication. That's how you get stronger when you're coming into them. You're going to fall, and half the battle is learning to fall and start again. I have fallen, I've bumped my little head so many times. You just gotta do it again. That's all. Shake it off. Fall off the horse, you get back on. Okay?
I was surprised that lasted as long as
I actually was too. We got really, really good job. And you know, don't underestimate yourself. You probably have a lot more in it than you do, but unless you try, you never know. So, you know, yoga's just about being humble and learning the things we can't do. When you're in a room full of people and you fall, so what? They're gonna fall too. You know, they're gonna fall all day long. The journey of yoga is learning to fall off your mat and on your mat. Okay? Palms to your feet. Good. Gently slide those palms back and up your shins. Good. And we're gonna come into our last and final pose, which is corpse pose. This is Shavasana. Okay? There is a very specific way to do Shavasana, so we're not just laying on the ground, we really are engaging specific aspects of it. So we're going to rock that, draw your heels to your glute muscles, roll back onto your spine. Okay, we're going to open up the arms. Okay, now I'm going to guide Alex through this. I'm going to have him close his eyes. There is a lot of different points that you want to hit. We're going to extend one leg at a time to the four corners of the mat. Perfect. Relax your legs, relax your feet. Open up the arms a little bit. Good, yeah, there you go. Spread out, take up some room. There you go. Now, what he's going to do is take a deep, long exhale breath. He's going to ground every sense of his body into the floor. This is a meditational-based pose. The back of his knuckles are going to just kind of hit the ground so his palms are open. He's going to slightly, which he already has, let his heels just drift open to the outsides of the mat. He's going to relax his heels. His eyes are closed. If you have a towel or anything to cover up your eyes at home, I do recommend it. Drown out the light. You don't need the sensory of the light. Relax the knees. Really focus on the longevity of your exhalation breath. Relax the eyes. We're going to start to calm the mind. If this is the start to your day or the end to the day, know that for the 5 minutes that you're going to lay here, nobody needs, wants, or requires a single thing from you. This is your time to really just be in touch with your body. You're going to relax your lips. And just allow yourself to be. Leave Alex here for roughly about 5 to 10 minutes. It's your choice on however long you would like Shavasana to be. This is the end to your practice. Really value your time in Shavasana. Allow yourself to just be there. Be present to your body in the shell that your body is in. So let's say that's a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, and 5. To bring yourself out, you're going to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, slowly start to bring your heels into touch. Just going to take a gentle bend through the knees, grounding the heels. A small pelvic tilt, so I want him to draw his spine to the floor. As he does that, he floats the knees into his chest. And we're going to take the palms and interlace them around the shins. Give yourself a nice big hug. My favorite way to come out of this, there's two ways. You can rock onto your side in a fetal position, or you can just take that momentum and rock back up to how you started. Okay? So, from here, I just like to rock up. I like to kind of awaken myself back into that. Okay? And we end our practice exactly how we started, coming back into Sukhasana, a cross-legged, easy, comfortable position. For some of you, this isn't going to be possible. This is okay too. This works. Whatever works for you. I always recommend a guided 30-second, just meditation at the end of your practice. Give yourself 30 seconds. Close the eyes, relax the neck and shoulders, breathe. Think about your intention, the reason why you did your practice in the first place, whether it's sports flexibility, whether it's to ground the mind and body, whatever it is, that 30 seconds is just to get yourself centered again. We're going to slowly just once again release the palms, take an inhale breath, and I want you to rise those hands up to the ceiling. Embrace the fingers together. Take an exhale breath with the palms to the chest. Anjali Mudra. Thumbs rest onto the breastplate. And the traditional traditional salutation to the end of your practice is Namaste. Namaste is me saluting my practice and my light, you saluting your practice and your light. So you always turn to your partner and you just say Namaste. Good. And that's truly the meaning of it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Once again, there's no wrong, there's no right. My traditional salutation to you is that I hope this increases your flexibility both on your mat and off your mat in your daily life. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.